me share a small story with you. This story is very interesting. सोचिए 2000 million years ago क्या हुआ होगा इस धरती पे. This story is all about a period of time long ago, somewhat 2000 million years ago. On this life, the first life form started evolving, and those were the cellular forms. यही कोई सेल के आकार में ये लाइफ फॉर्म को देखा गया था. एंड दीज फॉर्म्स, द सेलुलर फॉर्म्स, छोटे छोटे पहले तो यूनिसेल्युलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स हुए हैं, एंड देन केम द मल्टीसेल्युलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स. So 2000 million years ago, the story of evolution, when it's all started, maybe it started with a life form which was in the form of cell. First came the unicellular organisms. Those are the most prehistoric, and not even prehistoric. History was never even created at that time. So I'm talking about that time, starting from the cellular forms to unicellular, and then came the multicellular organisms. Then came somewhat 350 million years ago, you can say, the existence of the first invertebrates, and they were starting to be active. Then came the hagfish, that is, I'm talking about the jawless fishes, जिसमें आता है hagfish और lamprey का names, and plenty of other organisms. इसी तरह कहानी आगे बढ़ाते हैं कि ब्रीफ अकाउंट में हमें ये जानने को मिल रहा है, आप ज़रूर सुन रहे होंगे, कि कैसे लाइफ फॉर्म्स स्टार्ट हुए थे एंड देन इट प्रोसीडेड. हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय वीडियो क्लास. This is the channel of biology, and along with that some other interesting vlogs. Welcome to सोनाली सोमा मुखर्जी चैनल. आप सभी को स्वागत है. फिर से मैं लाई हूँ कुछ नया, कुछ इस बार मैं लाने की कोशिश की हूँ. जेनेटिक्स नहीं है. This is a story of origin of life. The story of origin of life, that is evolution. This life कैसे फॉर्म हुआ, कैसे इस धरती पे different organisms, how they started coming up and evolving. This is the story of the origin of life and evolution. This concept and the video is very different. आगे बढ़ने से पहले छोटा सा रिमाइंडर देना चाहूँगी कि आप मेरे चैनल को थोड़ा सा सब्सक्राइब तो किए होंगे. जिन्होंने नहीं किया है, माई रिक्वेस्ट, प्लीज़ थोड़ा सा सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, सपोर्ट कीजिए, एंड शेयर विथ योर फ्रेंड्स, क्योंकि आप सपोर्ट करेंगे तभी मेरा एग्जिस्टेंस है. A person who is standing in front of you is trying to give you some concept, so without your support I am nothing over here. And थोड़ा सा बेल बटन दबा दीजिएगा, so that whatever I'm uploading over here, you can get the complete idea about it. तो शुरू करते हैं वीडियो. Evolution is that story of life which is giving you a background idea about the origin of life and the different theories that are related to this topic. So before I move on to the theories, a quick brief account of this story of evolution. Let us explore how the life forms came into existence. I hope by this time you know the brief account of evolution. Now let's proceed with the discussion. When life started, मतलब शुरुआती दौर पे, when life really started its existence, there were different theories about the origin of life. You must have seen I've written something on board, the Big Bang theory. Let me first start explaining the Big Bang theory. According to this theory, there were some huge massive explosions that took place at one time on this earth, and these massive explosions resulted in the formation of different galaxies. You must be knowing the name of our galaxy is Milky Way. We all know that the name of the galaxy that we live, हमारे जो galaxy का नाम है, that is Milky Way. But there was at one time, according to Big Bang theory, there was one time some huge massive explosion जिसके वजह से कुछ galaxies, different galaxies were formed. ये तो हो गया आपका Big Bang theory. Now let's move on to the story of theory of spontaneous origin. Theory of spontaneous origin says that life started from some dead, decaying matter, maybe something which was left as a dead, decomposed matter. That was the origin of life. This is the story of the spontaneous origin. That is, this theory supports theory of spontaneous origin. यही कहा जाता है कि लाइफ शुरू शायद किसी dead decomposed matter से हुआ था, means according to this theory. But as soon as the name of the scientist is Louis Pasteur, as soon as Louis Pasteur gave the first statement saying that origin of life started from some pre-existing life form, यानी कुछ पहले कुछ exist करता था, उसी से हमें मिला है next form of life. That means this theory is saying that there were some pre-existing life forms. From there came the next stage, that is the origin of life. As soon as Louis Pasteur came with this theory of pre-existing life form, his statement totally dismissed the theory of spontaneous origin. जैसे ही लुई पैस्चर ने हमें ये बताया, ये स्टेटमेंट दिया है कि हमारे लाइफ का ओरिजिन जो है वो किसी प्री एग्जिस्टिंग फॉर्म से आया है, तुरंत ये जो हमारा नेक्स्ट स्टेज है, हमारा जो पहले कहा जा रहा था कि किसी डेड डिकम्पोज्ड मैटर से हुआ है, इट वाज टोटली डिसमिस्ड. Then came the other name, which was means it was marked a very big name. These two names are Oparin and Haldane. Oparin and Haldane's theory of evolution, well known to the stories of evolution that we ever know in the study of biology. Let's understand. Now, as Haldane and Oparin stated that life existed surely from some pre-existing forms, but these were non-living, but organic molecules, that is RNA and protein. This was their statement that was instigating us to study the story of origin of life and the theories thereafter. Now came a concept that life, when it started at that time, the atmosphere was reducing. Once I faced a question of a student. Let me tell you, ये क्वेश्चन क्या था. एक बार मुझसे एक स्टूडेंट ने पूछा था, क्या अब इवोल्यूशन हो सकता है, क्या हम लोग फिर से कोई इवोल्यूशन देख सकते हैं? Well, when I was answering this question, I was believing one thing, that right now the atmosphere is oxidizing. But at that time, when the story of evolution एक दिन में नहीं होता है, इसे हजारों मिलियन ईयर्स लग जाते हैं इवोल्यूशन. और इसके थ्योरीज जो है जब हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, इसमें काफ़ी वक्त लगता है, बहुत ज़्यादा वक्त लगता है. सो नेचुरली दैट एटमॉस्फेयर विच वॉज सपोर्टिंग इवोल्यूशन टू टेक प्लेस वॉज हाई टेम्परेचर, volcanic eruptions and a reducing atmosphere. I would say one thing, the theory of evolution, when we start studying Haldane and Oparin's theory, it stated life started its first form from a cellular form, pre-existing life form, but non-living organic molecules, that is RNA and protein, and the atmosphere that was existing at that time was a reducing atmosphere. At that time, it was more of methane that was present in the atmosphere that supported, and maybe methane, maybe ammonia, and that's what has yielded this story of evolution to be proceeded further, which was able to be preceded by chemical evolution. And then came the concept and other concepts we started believing in, that is the cellular form of life, probably the single cell, cellular form of life, the single cell, and originates in the water medium. Let me explain this sentence. The cellular form of life which started in water medium, that means aquatic, but a single cell. Now that means I'm talking about unicellular organisms which are aquatic by nature. And this theory that the first form of life which started from non-living molecules, that is the theory that first form of life arose, the first form of life arose from evolutionary forces from non-living molecules is called biogenesis. The theory that first form of life arose from some evolutionary forces pre-existing but non-living by nature. This theory is known as biogenesis. You can see I've written on board. So you see there are different beliefs, concepts, and the theories that are related to this theory of evolution. Now let's explore this topic once more. Move on to the study of the evidence of evolution? What is the evidence that evolution really took place? Let's start with the first evidence, the paleontological evidence. Well, paleontological is a very big word, बड़ा word है, इसको याद करने में थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है, तो इसको ब्रेकअप कर लीजिए. Paleontological evidence. This evidence stated that there was the formation of fossils, and this helped us to understand that really there was one time some organisms that resulted into some other life forms, and this evidence was seen in fossils. What are fossils? Fossils are the remains of the hard parts of organisms. Some life forms that at one time died, and their hard parts, there were some remains that was left on the rocks, or the formation of the rocks happened, and that helped us to study the evidence of evolution. So different aged rock sediments, certain fossils of different life forms that probably died during the formation of particular sediment. Fossils are remains of some hard parts of life forms which are found in rocks. The study showed that different forms of lives varied along the time. That is the geological lifespan I'm talking about. And as time passed, these fossils became big evidence in the story of evolution. Hence, new forms of life have arisen at different time intervals. We have seen in different time intervals new life forms in the history of the formation of this earth, and that stated the paleontological evidence, that is the evidence of evolution. Now let's study another concept which is absolutely interesting and very important for the students.